My phone kept calling me at 3:17 a.m. until I finally answered telephone flushed. My mom always said coincidences are just patterns we're too scared to recognize. I used to roll my eyes at that. Then my phone rang at 3:17 a.m. and I heard my own voice say my name. It started after I moved into the new apartment downtown. 5th floor, old brick, iron fire escape, windows that rattled when buses passed. The kind of place that still had mail slots instead of doorbells. Rent was cheap, which should have been my first warning. The landlord, an older man with perfectly combed gray hair, said the building had character. When I asked why the previous tenant left all their curtains behind, he smiled and said, "People move on fast here." The first few nights were fine. A little cold, a little creaky, nothing serious. Then the lights in the hallway began flickering, always in sets of 3. 3 blinks, pause, 3 again. The pattern stuck in my head. On the 3rd night, my phone rang. Unknown caller. I answered out of habit, heard faint static, and hung up. It rang again at 2:11 a.m., then again at 3:17. The same every night. By the 5th night, I stopped answering. But whoever it was started leaving voicemails. The first few were nothing but slow breathing. Then whispering. And then one night, a low voice said my full name and whispered, "You left me in the basement." The building didn't have a basement. At least not one anyone talked about. The next morning, I asked the landlord. He froze, then forced a smile. "We sealed it years ago." "Rats," he said. But as he turned away, I caught a glimpse of a thin key hanging from his pocket, attached to a tag that read B1. That night I couldn't sleep. The floorboards thudded like footsteps. Around 2:40 a.m., the heater let out a moan so human that I sat up in bed, heart pounding. I tried to laugh it off until my phone vibrated on the nightstand. Unknown caller. I stared at it until it stopped. Then I noticed something new, a voicemail notification, timestamped 3:17 a.m. I pressed play. First static, then silence, and then my own voice whispered, "Don't go down there." I dropped the phone. The next day I met my neighbor, Jade, 20-something, loud, funny, with purple hair and zero fear. I told her about the calls. She said, "Girl, that's haunted Wi-Fi. Reset your router." I laughed because it was easier than saying I was scared. That night she came over with wine and sage and decided we'd banish whatever bad vibes I had. We were halfway through the bottle when the lights dimmed, flickered 3 times, and the air turned heavy like the room itself was holding its breath. Then the phone rang. She grabbed it before I could. Hello, static. Then both of us heard it, 2 sets of breathing. One slow, one matching hers. "Who is this?" she said, voice shaking. Then softly a whisper, "2 of you now." The line clicked dead. We didn't sleep. Around 4 a.m., she packed up and left, muttering she'd come back in daylight. But the next morning I got a text from her. "You never told me you had a twin." Saw her looking out your window. I didn't reply. I hadn't been near the window all night. That evening, I went to the laundry room, staring at the back wall. Behind a metal shelf stacked with detergent was a faint outline of a door, painted the same color as the wall. The handle was gone, but I could see the rust where one used to be. My phone buzzed again. Unknown. Against all logic, I answered. "Stop," my own voice said. Then silence. I pressed my ear to the door. From the other side came a faint humming, the same rhythm as the flickering lights. 3 notes, pause, 3 again. I ran back upstairs and shoved a chair under the knob. That night I woke up gasping, convinced someone was standing over me. The air was freezing. My phone screen glowed on its own. A new recording. I hadn't made it. The file name was just 317. I played it. It was the sound of me sleeping, except halfway through, another voice whispered, "Closer." The next day, I told the landlord everything. He sighed, looking older suddenly. "You shouldn't have answered the first call," he said. "What happens if I did?" I asked. He looked at me with genuine pity. "Then it learns your voice." I packed that night, but before I could finish, the power went out. The only light was the faint red glow from the smoke detector. I stood still, holding my phone light, when I realized the glow wasn't coming from the detector at all. It was coming from behind it. I pulled it down. Inside was a tiny black device, a phone screen cracked, still recording. The last saved video was dated a week before I moved in. I hit play. A woman's face filled the frame. Pale, terrified, whispering, "If you find this, don't answer it. Don't speak. It sounds like you, but it's not." Behind her, the light flickered 3 times. Then a dark shape moved across the wall. The clip ended. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat by the window, clutching my bag, waiting for sunrise. At 3:17 a.m., my reflection blinked before I did. The next morning, I was gone. I moved into a motel 3 towns away, changed my number, smashed the old phone. I told myself it was over. But a week later, my motel phone rang. Unknown caller. I unplugged it, shoved it under the bed. The next night, the TV turned on by itself. The screen flickered 3 times, then displayed a paused video of me sleeping in the motel bed, live angle, overhead view. I ran outside barefoot. The front desk clerk swore no one had entered my room. I switched motels again. Then again. For almost a month, nothing happened. I started to believe it was done. Then Jade texted me a video link with no caption. It was grainy security footage of someone standing in a hallway, back turned to the camera. The timestamp read 3:17 a.m. The figure slowly turned. It was me. Except I was asleep, hundreds of miles away. I called her immediately. She didn't answer. The next day I saw news online. A woman found in her apartment, phone smashed, every mirror covered with bedsheets. Her name was Jade. The police said it was a break-in. I knew better. I went back to the old building, desperate for answers. The landlord's office was empty, door unlocked. Inside, piles of old tenant forms stacked like a tower. Every name was crossed out except one. Mine. On the desk was a note, "You always come back." The door to the basement was open. I should have run. But I went down. The air was damp and cold, thick with dust. My flashlight barely worked. The walls were covered in hundreds of old phone screens, all glowing faintly, all showing the same paused image. Me, sitting at my kitchen table, holding my phone to my ear. Then I heard it. A low hum like static, building into words. "You shouldn't have taught me your name." The flashlight died. When I woke up, I was lying on my apartment floor. Morning light streaming in. My phone on the table, new voicemail waiting. Timestamp 3:17 a.m. I pressed play. My own voice calm this time. "You're safe now. I found her. I took her place." Then faintly, Jade's voice whispered, "Please hang up." I threw the phone across the room. It didn't break. It started ringing again. I left that day, moved back in with my mother. She said I looked older. I felt it. For weeks, I heard nothing. Then one morning, I came downstairs and saw a brand new landline installed next to the kitchen wall. "Did you order that?" I asked. She smiled. "No, it came with the service upgrade." That night at 3:17 a.m., it rang. I stared at it until the sound stopped. The voicemail light blinked once. I picked up the receiver. On the other end, a soft hum turned into my mother's voice. Only it wasn't her. "Coincidences are patterns," it said. "And you're part of mine now." I dropped the phone. The line stayed open, humming like a heartbeat. And somewhere far away, I swear I heard my own voice whisper back, "Your turn."